Cisco Systems shares, they are rising right now. Look at that, tacking on nearly 7%. That's following their second quarter results. Let's get into those numbers, Julie. Q2 EPS 94 versus 91. Revenue 13.99 versus 13.87, so beats on the bottom and the top. Looking ahead, Q3 EPS 90 to 92 versus 90. Q3 revenue they're calling for 13.9 to 14.1. That's versus expectations of 13.88. Now let's turn to the full year and the outlook there. Full year adjusted EPS 368 to 374. They had seen between 360 and 366, so that is a boost to that profit outlook. The revenue they're now calling for between 56 and 56.5. They had seen between 55.3 and 56.3 billion, so the immediate reaction here higher in the after hours.
Yeah, and I'm just looking through the statement here from Chuck Robbins, the CEO. He talked about accelerating customer demand for their technology, and he said, as AI becomes more pervasive, we're well positioned to help our customers scale their network infrastructure. So it definitely seems like they're pushing the AI narrative as part of what is driving demand here, which makes sense given that what we're seeing in terms of the infrastructure build out. So as you said, those shares are rising about 6%, Josh.
Yeah, company's core networking markets, that'll be in focus. What color does Mr. Robbins give us on the call about that, the trends they see ahead? Public spending, that's always in focus too. Splunk, I mean, some on the street see that Splunk integration, they tell clients, does remain some upside opportunity in their opinion, could mean better than expected operating margins they think ahead. Tariffs too, I'd be interested to see kind of questions that Chuck Robbins gets on the call about that issue.
Shares of Cisco rising as the company tops second quarter estimates on the top and bottom line. Cisco announcing an additional $15 billion authorized for stock repurchases as well. Morningstar senior equity analyst William Kerwin joining us now with a closer look. Well, it's good to see you here. So corporate spending seems to be lifting Cisco. The company saying everybody is building out their AI infrastructure. That's helping them. First of all, just give us your overall reaction to the numbers.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Julie. So the numbers were quite good. They beat our expectations for the quarter, and the third quarter guidance was pretty positive, more in line with what we were modeling, which was a little bit above the street. But the full year consensus, or the full year guidance, excuse me, was better than we expected, which shows a pretty good Q4 implied after that Q3. And really, to put this in context, we think this is just continued good growth momentum for Cisco after a few years of some choppy demand with over ordering and subsequent inventory digestion by its customers. We think this is better reflecting a healthy demand environment now. But to put this all in perspective in terms of the stock price, we saw Cisco as overvalued coming into the earnings. And really, we see that reflecting a bit of overexuberance around the impact of AI on its actual results. Now, we think AI can become a multi-billion-dollar business for Cisco, but against a $50 to $60 billion top line, we don't see it as a primary driver. But overall, good results, good guidance.
On that issue of AI, William, so Cisco's Chuck Robbins talking very confidently about that. Says here, as AI becomes more pervasive, we are well positioned, he says, to help our customers scale their network infrastructure, increase their data capacity requirements, and adopt best-in-class AI security. When you're thinking about this name, both now and ahead, William, do you consider Cisco a smart way to play that mega AI trade and trend?
Not really. We think AI will benefit the business both from infrastructure buildouts that use some of Cisco's networking equipment, but also we think Cisco is a prime candidate to use AI. There's been a lot of talk in the past few months about AI agents, and Cisco as this massive global sales organization could really benefit a lot from that. But it's not a pure play on AI. Again, we see AI infrastructure as a small minority of the overall business. We look to a networking peer like Arista Networks as a much better way to play into that AI networking trend.
William, at the same time, it's interesting here that the company is coming out with this raised forecast for the full year, because the backdrop here is that we've had some questions about what corporate spending is going to be, ex-AI corporate spending is going to look like this year. You've had some questions about the sort of macro environment, including the sort of policy and tariff potential headwinds as potentially affecting companies' decision-making on spending. But that doesn't seem to be reflected in these Cisco numbers, or is that the right way to read this?
We think that the Cisco customers, what Cisco is selling is a very non-discretionary expense in terms of data center infrastructure, on-premises networking equipment. We don't think this is going to fluctuate a ton in terms of what that end demand is quarter over quarter. Now, I think it's a fair argument to have over a long-term period, the next 3 to 5 years, but we think this is a stable growth environment for Cisco, and we continue to believe that on-premises networking, not the high-flying AI type stuff, but campus networks and office buildings at college campuses, et cetera, are really the firm's bread and butter. And we see that as a durable, although low grower into the medium term.
William, what about potential tariff risk? Is that something that should be on Cisco investors' radars?
It certainly will be on radars, and I would be shocked if we didn't get a question on it on the earnings call coming up this afternoon. But I think it helps to look back at recent history for Cisco. Back with the first round of tariffs in 2017 to 2019 era, there wasn't an enormous impact, and we really credit Cisco's execution there in terms of mobilizing, again, this global sales force. So we don't expect there to be a massive impact for the company this time around, but we'll see what the company and Chuck Robbins says tonight.
Looking forward to that call. William, thank you so much for your perspective. Appreciate it.